Last night, I had the opportunity to finally see The Batman, and I thought I would talk about my reaction to the film right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when they go live. I do appreciate each of you for doing so. Also hit that like button if you like this video too. And of course, I am raising money for Ukraine. So if you want to donate, you can go over to bit.ly/let's help Ukraine. You can see that number is going up ever so slowly. But thank you so much to everybody who has donated the causes for Project Hope, helping the millions of Ukrainians who have had to flee their country to find shelter, food, etc. in a all new place due to the war between Russia and Ukraine. Any amount helps. Thank you so much to everybody who has donated this far. That is, again, bit.ly/let's help Ukraine. Now, let's talk about this Batman film. So first of all, I'll just tell you, I loved it. I really, really like the film. It is a crime thriller. You are sort of along for the ride the entire time, trying to figure out who the villain is. And we actually see Paul Dano here at the end revealing himself. Spoiler warning. I mean, I'm going to go full spoilers then on the movie. So wait, see it, come back and watch this video later. First of all, I love how this was shot. Some of the cinematography, some of the shots that they use are just oozing with style, with a unique look for Batman, unlike anything we've seen before. There's a lot of color that you see throughout the film. We're obviously seeing darker scenes right now, but one of the scenes in particular that we saw in the trailers was with the shot all in darkness, and then the actual bullets are what light the scene, and you see Batman, moving in on these criminals and trying to take them out. And I just love how they thought about shooting that particular scene. And speaking of lighting, I'll get into the Batmobile in just a second, but that is also another moment that looked absolutely great. So I also love the shot where Batman is standing on top of the police building, and he jumps off. He puts on a makeshift wingsuit, and then he jumps off of the building. And the bat flying suit, it does seem like it is interestingly put together. I don't know how he zips it up, but he puts it on really quick. He jumps off the building. He starts flying through the air, and there's the shot all in darkness that I was talking about before, actually. And he starts flying from the police building, but it's really makeshift. It's based somewhat in reality. It's not perfect. And there he is jumping off of the building. So he actually pulls his ripcord to hit the parachute. He hits the bridge, and then he takes a bit of a hit when he lands and falls, but he does walk away from it. And I love that. This is very much Batman Year One, if you've read any of the Batman comics, or at least that's how it feels. And it is going to be an ongoing series, thankfully. Let's talk about the Batmobile, because the more I think about it, the more I love this. They did a great job of actually teasing the Batmobile before we actually got to see it, like we do in these scenes here. They showed the camshaft and all the chains and stuff that go into the engine just laying out on a table. And it was really, really neat to see them build up to the reveal of the actual Batmobile starting up for the first time to intimidate the criminals. And when it does finally show up on the screen, man, I really loved how they did it. They show the lighting of the hood, and it starts glowing red, and then there's blue behind it. And the sound designer just did such an amazing job of, you're just like, oh yeah, he's gonna mess them up in this thing. And it just evokes raw power. I love the Batmobile reveal in this film. I love the Batmobiles in Batman movies. The Tim Burton Batmobile, obviously iconic. The first time it armors up, about midway through that film, is just so cool. The tumbler scene, the whole does it come in black, all that good stuff, right? And yet again, we have yet another amazing Batmobile reveal that does it justice. Let's talk a little bit about the actors here, because the scene I have coming up in the trailer here it's Paul Dano. He's playing the Riddler. I really like how they made him the Zodiac Killer, and I think a lot of people are getting that basically because of his mask. His mask looks a lot like what the Zodiac killers did in a very popular movie, or maybe even in reality. I don't know too much about the true story about the Zodiac killer, but it also has elements of Saw. He has like people put on these contraptions that they maybe had a chance to get out of. One character does, at least in the film. And it definitely reminds me of the Saw movies, at least with the traps. And the only thing, like, a lot of people said they were creeped out by Paul Dano. I wasn't creeped out at all by his mannerisms or the way that he acted in the film. But I think he played a good villain. He definitely has the whole insanity acting down. He came off very insane, and I did like what he did. Somebody I liked a lot better. Like I said, I really, really loved Batman and how he nailed everything. But Zoe Kravits as Catwoman, she really, really did an excellent job, constantly misdirecting you with her actual intentions. Like, you think she's just going after money, but actually she's looking for her friend who's been murdered. And I think Zoe Kravits did an amazing job as Catwoman. And, you know, I think she just had a really memorable performance. And they really kind of hit all the right notes with Catwoman in the writing, where you're not really sure, like, was she a prostitute at one point? You know, that's been alluded to in the comics. Is she just a constant hustler? Is she hustling everybody? I really, really like how they strike that balance of mystery and intrigue about the character. And there is a big reveal about like who her father is revealed in the film, but it is a little bit wasted because they basically kill that character a few seconds later. So I do wish that I wish they had let that particular character live. So Zoe Kravitz did absolutely great. There's also Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. He did really good. He's sort of more somber with the character. Yeah, Robert Pattinson steals the show. Oh my goodness, the Riddler. Colin Ferrel is not recognizable as the Penguin, I'm sorry, at all. He goes by Oz. I love how he played the Penguin. There was just so much right about this film, right? I like how they handled the Riddler. I like how Colin Farrell played the Penguin, because he's sort of like a snake in the grass. And the way that he played it, I love it. It reminds me of the I believe it was GCPD that originally tackled that sort of more grounded, like how would real people react to a situation like they're in. They didn't make him like comically the Penguin. And I really, really enjoyed how Colin Farrell played that character. So we went over the Batmobile. Jeffrey Wright's good. I don't feel like he got a big moment to shine besides getting punched in the face. So maybe they'll give him a little bit more in the next film. The final scene was interesting. So at the end of the movie, I'm sorry, there's a few more characters. John Turturro as Falcone. He's usually played humorous characters, right? So for me, I was constantly just thinking about the goofy characters that actor had played. It's John Turturro, I believe is his name. I don't know if I said his last name correctly, but anyway, he did a good job, but I was just constantly taken back because I've seen him in just so many sillier roles. I think Andy Serkis also played a lot of different interesting roles, but I think he did a really good job as Alfred. That sort of father figure. I like how he handled the character and the pacing of the storytelling. The movie clocks in about 3 hours. So I'm amazed that I actually had the opportunity to go and see it, but I actually like it. You're kind of taken on this journey where you learn more about the Catwoman. She gets time to shine as a character, right? And you get to learn more about her motivations. You get to learn about Robert Pattinson and his motivations, his relationship with Alfred, and the Penguin even gets a few scenes. And apparently they're making a Penguin show, and they're also making a show for one of the other characters. I can't remember which one. One for Gordon and one about Penguin. So they're going to get more time to shine in those HBO series. But yeah, so Colin Farrell, great. John Turturro, I was taken a little back because I was constantly reminded of his sillier roles. Andy Serkis did a really good job as Alfred. Loved Zoe Kravitz. Loved Robert Pattinson. Absolutely. Love the Batmobile. Love the story. Paul Dano didn't creep me out as much as he creeped out everybody else. Like, the terrible stuff he was doing was creepy, but him as an actor, I'm just like, well, it's just a nerdy looking guy. Is that, I don't like the trope that nerdy guys are evil in all the in a lot of the movies, you know. I feel like every time you get somebody that looks a little different, they're just like these terrible people in movies. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, I see what they're doing there, but I'm not usually a big fan of that in films, right? So what else do I have here? The storytelling was great. They kind of take you on this murder mystery journey where you're constantly like a step behind. You're on pace, obviously, with Batman, who's solving things left and right. It's really, really interesting. At the end, Batman basically leads a bunch of people to safety because the whole city gets flooded at the ending, and we actually see Batman out during daytime, or at least dawn, and he is helping some people get onto a plane or a helicopter and get out of the city. And it reminds me of the comics where Batman, like the older Batman comics, where Batman would actually go out and just do stuff with the super friends, which is a little weird to say. So it wasn't too uncharacteristic for him. We have seen Batman in the comics actually go out and help people during daytime. He doesn't just work at night. He's a detective, so he works when he has to work, right? But obviously he does prefer the cover of darkness when he is doing his work. So yeah, I was a little 50-50 on that one. I was surprised he stuck around, and I do think that I can't wait to see more character development from Pattinson. The one thing that I wasn't sure how to feel about, so there was a tease at the end where they tease a Joker character, right? It's really hard for me to move on after Heath Ledger's amazing performance. I don't know that I really want to see another Joker on the film, but eventually somebody else has to take a crack at it, right? It's this iconic villain. And there was an interview, I believe on IGN actually, where they talked to, I believe it was the director, and he talked about having the laughing disease and not being able to stop laughing. So he has sort of this tic. This character is not yet the Joker. And it looks like, I think they were doing, based on what we actually see, he has some disfigurement. So they went with that sort of storyline again. And yeah, so like it's not the Joker yet. It'd be really interesting to see if they decide to have him in the next film. They haven't confirmed. They said, we don't have any plans. We just kind of wanted to sort of tease the Joker for, you know, fans, I guess. Yeah, so I was a little there. There's Batman, by the way, leading everybody to safety in dawn, during dawn. Yeah, so I wasn't really sure how to feel about that. I'll give it a chance because I absolutely adored this movie. I really liked it. I haven't wanted to go see a movie a second time in a long time when it was in the theater. And this is one of the first ones that I have actually wanted to go back and watch it again. I think there's so much going on that was right with the movie. I think Robert Pattinson's portrayal of a broody, but still spoiled and a little clueless Bruce Wayne, the setup about his family history was really great. What could potentially be a setup for No Man's Land in the future with the flooding of the city. I want to see more about the Penguin. I cannot wait to watch the HBO series about the Penguin, because the Penguin is such an interesting character. He has all these connections in the city of Gotham, and it's really interesting to see Colin Ferrel just play that character. Like, I don't recognize Colin Ferrel at all, but that is the Penguin. That is the best depiction of the Penguin that I have ever seen in any visual medium, I guess. They usually make him cartoony, but this is like a more grounded Penguin. Like, yeah, he's sort of weird and goofy and a little bit of a joke character, but because of his blunders, not because of his physical appearance. And so often they would like make him eat, like Danny DeVito eating fish in Batman 2 or whatever. They just made him like, it's very Tim Burton, right? But I love that depiction. So much going on here. I hope this Zoe Kravits comes back. I want to see this trilogy with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravits and see how that all pans out. I adored it. I call this a much watch Batman film. I think everybody should go see this one. It's hard to move on after Christopher Nolan, right? But wow. very happy I went to see it. Sometimes you hear that movies are overhyped. I don't think that was the case this time. I think it's go in with tempered expectations and you will come out happy. I was happy that I went to see this. It is not for children at all. It's like rated PG-13. I don't know how, but it is. Do not bring your kids to this Batman film. I wouldn't recommend it anyway. Yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Big thumbs up. Go see it. That's my review. So let me know what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a regular viewer, sorry for being super late on this one. I'm cutting it really close to missing my video today, but I was so tired. I just had to take a nap. Reminder, yep, raising money for Ukraine, bit.ly/let's help Ukraine, raising money for Project Hope to help people who have been forced to move out of their homes. And thank you to all the members who support this channel. I updated the list. Thank you for supporting. I do greatly appreciate it. If you want to join, you can click that join button right down there. I'm going to get out of here and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.